Hey, today I want to talk about 3 ways to stop late night eating. Hey, it's Becky here, and I'm at the Criticalbench kitchen. And today I want to talk about late night eating. Now, I know it's not enough to just be told, don't eat that bag of chips, don't eat those cookies, don't eat that extra portion of dinner that you have. But the problem is we know we're not supposed to be doing it, but we're doing it anyway. So I want to talk about 3 things that you can do that are going to help with this. So first up is noticing the pattern. Now I realize you might think it's totally random when you're late night eating, but there's actually a lot more going on here under the surface if you just start to notice what's going on. So it might just be a habit. You might notice that every single night at 7 p.m. on the dot, you get a craving for, I don't know, those crunchy, salty chips, right? So start to notice that pattern. Maybe you notice every time you walk in the door after a super stressful day at work, you go right for that bottle of wine. So maybe it's because of stress and overwhelm and just what's going on in your life. So start to notice the pattern. Start to notice the time that these cravings are coming up. Notice how even, I know, let's get a little mushy here, but how are you feeling? Because a lot of times, yes, we are handling these cravings and these feelings with food. So noticing what's going on for you will start to help you develop a plan, a better plan that's going to help you to stay on track when these urges and when these cravings hit. So I want you to think about these things and notice what is actually going on. What time is it happening? Who are you around? Maybe there's certain people that trigger late night eating for you. What's going on? How are you feeling, right? So all these things can really be triggers that cause us to eat when we don't necessarily want to eat or when we're not even hungry. And the more we can notice what those things are, we can choose to do something different in that moment, which I'm going to talk about here next. So number 2 is about surfing the urge. And no, I don't mean going surfing in the ocean, as fun as that is, but it's about giving yourself some space, right? When this urge to eat something comes up, and to start to just give yourself 10 minutes. So let's go with a 10-minute rule. 5 minutes works or 10 minutes. It just somewhere in there is great to give you some time, right? A lot of times we're gonna get this urge. Our brain's gonna go, oh, go grab those bag of chips, and we're gonna run to the kitchen and we're gonna get them and start eating them. And we don't give ourselves any space to just really check in with ourselves, right? We just give into that thought and go crazy on the bag of chips. So anytime you feel the urge to come up, give yourself that space, give yourself that 10 minutes. And what you wanna do is not just sit there and be like, oh my gosh, I'm just thinking about food right now. No, find something meaningful to do, find something to do, because what I just talked about, right? We talked about the fact that maybe you're stressed, maybe you're bored, maybe you're just, frustrated after a long day at work, and you need to find something more meaningful in that moment that's not just food, right? So it could be, maybe you go for a walk. Maybe this is a great time to get your exercise in for the day. Maybe, if you can't get outside or you can't exercise, a hobby, something that you enjoy during that time. Connect with a family member. There's a whole list of things you can do, and I really encourage you to make that list, so when you get these urges, you get these cravings, that you have something else that you can go to. And something really cool often happens, right? You get distracted with something else and you forget about that craving. And that's what surfing the urge is about, is that a lot of times that urge will go away. So if we just give it a little bit of time, right, it gives us that space to go do something else, and that other thing helps us to feel better, right? It helps us to feel better, it lifts our mood, especially if these things are coming from some of those emotions that are coming up. And lastly, one of the things that can be really super beneficial is actually balancing your meals. Now, I go into a lot of depth in this video here, so make sure you check it out on how to balance, how to portion your meals to really set yourself up for success. But the reason this is super important is because a lot of times what I find people are doing, and the reason their cravings go through the roof, is because they're not getting in the right balance of food that their body needs. Maybe your diet is very carb heavy. Maybe you're not really eating enough food. And what will happen is those hunger hormones, those craving hormones, oh my gosh, they're gonna shoot through the roof. So if we're not eating in a way throughout the day that actually sets us up to feel good, to feel full, to feel satisfied from the meals that we're eating, guess what? 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 10 p.m. is gonna hit, and now we're gonna be hungry, our cravings are gonna be through the roof, and it's gonna be a lot more difficult when we're in this place because we haven't made good choices throughout the day to really start diving into that stuff that we know we shouldn't be eating. So it's really super important to balance your meals, especially getting in that protein and especially getting in fiber from fruits and vegetables that are really gonna give the meals that you have some sticking power. It's gonna help balance your blood sugar so you're not on this blood sugar roller coaster that ups those cravings as well. So you can feel good and you won't be as likely to want to turn to food at night. Hey guys, I'm gonna be talking about a ton of nutrition videos just like this, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. I wanna make sure you guys are on the right track to eat in a way that's going to stick in the long run. No fads, no gimmicks here, just great information that takes that confusion out, so hit that subscribe. And if you wanna get more information about this, we actually have a free Tame Your Cravings guide. This has way more tips that will help you on your journey. So make sure to check out that pinned comment below to grab your free copy today.